in my office. It's rainy today. Typhoon is approaching, and it's getting very humid, and it's entering the rainy season very soon. So maybe a bit different from where you are now, but very, very nice to meet you, and I'm very honored to be speaking to you this morning. It's actually afternoon here in Tokyo, and I'm thrilled this opportunity talking to you about Japanese market and its similarities and differences from the Finnish markets. So I'm going to share the screen with you, the slides that I've prepared for this webinar. So I hope you can see it. Is it showing?
We are still waiting, not yet.
Okay.
You can do it again. Now it shows. All well.
Okay, good. So let's start. I'm going to do a very quick introduction about myself. My name is Keiko Sawamura, but my maiden name is Keiko Ichikawa. And when I do business, I call myself Keiko Ichikawa, but just call me Keiko, that's fine. And I have worked for the largest advertising agency called Dentsu for nearly 20 years. And there, my main business field is content business, including sports and music. But basically, I promote international content, whether it's tangible or intangible. I promote international things in Japan. So my recent projects include the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, where I worked as a partner sales specialist for the organizing committee. And the picture showing myself in the yellow circle, sitting right next to Someiti, she's the Paralympic mascot. And this picture was taken the day after the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Games. And the picture is with my fellow committee members of the marketing department of the organizing committee. Very hardworking people. And I left Dentsu 5 years ago and started my own enterprise. I became independent and I set up a company called Kotetsudo. And now I offer services to promote content and brands to facilitate partnership engagements. And back in 2020, I started working with Business Finland in Tokyo, managing showroom projects, hosting events, and mostly writing promotional materials for Business Finland's mission of matching Finnish companies with potential Japanese partners. So the next slide shows some of the examples what I've done with Business Finland. Showrooms, mostly back in 2021 during the COVID time. These companies, these brands joined the showroom, but they couldn't come to Tokyo because of the restrictions. So what we did was we imported their products and we set up all the displays on their behalf, and we wrote script using their brand story that Japanese audience would like to listen to. And we divided all the guests into smaller groups, and we invited them into little batches, and they were taken around each table, and the brand stories and product stories were told brand by brand, so they didn't miss anything while they were in the showroom. So the same format was used last year. It was sauna and well-being themed showroom last year in Harajuku. And last year, brand representatives could come to Tokyo. So they were there to speak with the guests. And it was very, very good showroom. Everybody was very happy. But we used the same format of storytelling in Japanese language. And I write lots of brand stories for Business Finland as well. And last year I created Finland Wellbeing Digital Library for 22 Finnish companies. And what I did was I collected all the material from each company and rewrote their company stories, product stories in Japanese languages. And I put them in all one booklets because Japanese people want to read from printed material still. So it's available through Business Finland. So why do we write brand story? And that's the main theme of today's webinar. So why brand story? This is just a very brief background about the Japanese markets. Japan, as you know, is a pretty large market, third largest economy in the world. And it's not just large, it's quite broad-based and well, sophisticated, according to International Trade Administration. And because Japan is a group of islands, as you know, it's surrounded by ocean. It's the land is quite limited. It's quite mountainous. It's volcanic, and it's the flat land for arable, crop farming is quite limited. So we are quite dependent on the imported food. So that's the main characteristic of Japanese markets. Having said that, Japanese market is already flooded with homegrown brands and products. We are quite proud nation of made in Japan products and really attractive offers from neighboring countries like South Korea, China, any Southeast Asian countries. And if you look at the Pacifics, then America is our neighbor. So if you come to Japan, you will see lots and lots of American influence. So big, giant brands with America, China, South Korea, they have global presence already, and they have lots and lots of added value in Japanese markets through branding. And they have already gained competitive advantage in pricing. They can sell their goods at higher price than Japanese local products. They've gained that through their branding. So, as I said, Japan is already quite saturated with good things. So, having said that, Japanese people have very, very good impression about Finland. That's true. And I'm sure Finnish people have very, very good impression about Japan because we have many elements that can be shared in common and we are mutually attractive to each other. And well, there are barriers such as market size and economic differences, and it could be challenging, but through those similarities, through the similar mindset, we can find solutions how to write a brand story that can work in Japanese markets. So when talking about how great and valuable a product is, I'm sure what you produce, whatever it is fantastic. But how do you create a brand story that strikes a chord with Japanese business people and consumers? I mean, if you're selling your product directly to consumers through e-commerce or, B2C might be easier because your product is already fantastic, but everything has to go through some kind of business people. So the first barrier is Japanese business people. So how do you attract attention from Japanese business people? Is the brand story and added value to a product that is already good enough. So let's find out how to do that. And before we jump into the actual process of writing brand stories, I want to talk about some key points of the Japanese market. And the main aim of today's webinar will be talking about these key points. And that's the very first step of the brand story writing, understanding our culture, understanding our market, understanding our consumer behavior and our mindset. So I'm going to talk about those key points first. Hokuo. Maybe you are familiar with this term. This is a Japanese word. It has a very, very broad meaning. It literally means Northern Europe. Hoku means north. O means Europe, so it literally means Northern Europe. But it's more conceptual than geographical. It's north, but the geographical image of Northern Europe, for Japanese people, it's very, very vague. If you ask someone in Japan, which countries are included in Hokuo, then the first answer would be Finland. But the second one might be like, maybe Sweden and maybe Denmark. That's about it. It's definition is very blurry. But the first country they will think about is Finland. So you can, if you come from Finland, you're practically a winner in Japanese. So whatever Hokuo is referring to, many Japanese people associate it with Finland. That's true. And Hokuo in general has a very good impression, including simplicity and thoughtful, people-centric design, modern, but nostalgic patterns like nature-themed patterns like animals, like nature, leaves, forest, natural materials such as wood and linen, something that makes you feel good, healthy, well-being, positive things like that. And Finland, of course, is the happiest country for many consecutive years. So many Japanese people believe that Finland is full of secrets of happiness. So the next slide shows, okay, I put the word Hokuo in Google and just searched for keywords, and this is what I came up with. Hokuo Fair, Hachikawa Open Air Hokuo Market, and Hokuo Life and Goods, and Lifestyle Magazine, and Lifestyle Portal. And I'm going to show you the each website later, but just having a glance, have you noticed that the color scheme is almost exactly the same? They use really nice pale colors like pink and yellow and blue and violet. This is just a coincidence. This was chosen randomly. This was like Google's search results, and this is what I came up with, and exactly the same color scheme. I was quite amused by this. This is the very image of Hokuo, the general feeling of Hokuo that we have. Really nice, gentle, cute somehow feeling. And I'm going to show you each slide. Just hold on a second. So this is Hokuo Fair. Although it says Hokuo, it's 100% Finland. This was held in the department store in Osaka, putting all sorts of Finnish brands under one roof. So it is like a Finland festival. Just a great mixture of Finnish brands and products and the culture, moruki, and kuksta, sauna, of course. Yeah, workshops, food, salmon soup, donuts, sell chocolates. Yeah, things like that. And this one was Tachikawa Open Air Market. Again, well, this wasn't 100% Finland. It's a more mixture of Northern Europe countries. It's a better presentation of Hokuo, I personally think, like Viking. Moruki is quite gaining popularity in Japan, quite funny. And workshops and lots of talk events, panel discussions. And this one, I thought this was very interesting. This is Hokuo Lifestyle portal websites. And most of things like this facial spray, and well, this is Marimekko, but these t-shirts and the umbrella and these dresses, if you look at their individual pages, you will find most of them are made in Japan. There's nothing Northern Europe about these products. And this is the very example of Hokuo definition of Hokuo. This is just a lifestyle. This is just a concept of the good, simple lifestyle. And the magazine too. This is just an explanation about different aspects of Hokuo countries. So this is another example of the concept of Hokuo. So going back to the slides. May take a little while. Okay, so that's Hokuo. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is sauna. Sauna is becoming a power word in Japan right now. Actually, sauna became popular in Japan in the 1980s. And just like Finland, you have public sauna and public sauna resorts. We have public baths and hot spring resorts, and it's a very important part of Japanese people's lifestyle. And what happened was sauna rooms were added to these pre-existing public bath facilities. But interestingly enough, mainly for men first. Women didn't like sauna to begin with. Maybe it was too hot, maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't get the concept of sauna back in 1980s. So it wasn't very popular among women to begin with. But in 2000, after 2000, saunas for women became very, very popular. And one of the reasons was the word Hokuo became very popular back in 2000. So the association again of Hokuo and sauna and Finland attracted attention from women. Like everything else, things become culture, the real culture, as soon as women start using them. And sauna became the real culture in Japan. And again, it's strongly associated Finland and Hokuo lifestyle. And many people believe sauna is the secret of Finland's happiness. You will probably find it quite amusing how Japanese people enjoy sauna. At the moment, it's quite different from how you use it. And this is probably the oldest and the most popular sauna facility in the middle of Tokyo. This is still only for men. And this is the most popular sauna. And these capsule cubicles where you can sleep, and a little cafeteria for drinking beer and some snack. And this is like an outdoor cold pool. And there's a women only day once a year, and it's so popular. You have to buy a lottery ticket, and only the winners can go. So this is a very old-fashioned sauna facility in Japan, and it's very, very different from Finnish sauna, I'm sure. But people's concept of sauna is changing very, very quickly, and lots of sauna facilities are adopting the authentic Finnish sauna style. And this is the sauna portal website called Sauna Ikitai. You can search your desired place, and you can search the sauna facilities, and there is like a community where you can exchange the information about your favorite sauna, and there are e-commerce, of course, and there are like loyalty programs where you can collect points to go to different sauna, and information about new facilities, and the web magazines about different communities and goods, and this is just, you know, all you need to know about Japanese sauna culture. So the approach is quite different, but we have evolved our own sauna style. So anything that can be associated with sauna, any of your products, any of your services that can be related to sauna would have advantage in Japanese markets. And the next keyword is conformity. This is quite unique to Japanese market, I think. And rather than being unique, many Japanese people feel comfortable when their choices are similar. What does it mean? We are not afraid of looking similar to each other. Like when this is common to everywhere. Like school kids tend to choose similar clothes and bags, even haircuts. You know, little kids want to look the same as their friends. It's the kind of the same psychology, I guess. And if your friend is using it, and if you like your friend, then you will like, you know, you will like that thing because my friend is using it. People's choices depend on who's using it in Japan. And many Japanese people, even grown-ups, don't hesitate to copy each other. And of course, there are exceptions, and there are many people who want to, you know, dress differently, who want to buy different things from other people, but majority want to blend in. They don't want to stand out. And one of the reasons is that, you know, there is an argument, but I think one of the reasons is monogenetic origin. And because we are like, we live in a group of islands surrounded by ocean, we are not like genetically mixed as much as other markets. So our diet, you know, our skin type or our appearance, etc. You know, most of us have brown hair, most of us have brown eyes, and you know, there are tall people and short people, but the variation isn't that dynamic. And we have, you know, big people, small people, but the dynamic is not that great. That's why if you come to Japan, you will probably have the impression that we all look pretty similar. So I can say this, we are less varied than in different markets. And I found this interesting example. Uniqlo is currently doing a great collaboration with Marimekko, and they have produced this really lovely dress with the iconic patterns. And these are the pictures that, you know, ordinary girls, women posted on Uniqlo's social media. And you know, this is a very impressive dress, but if you look closely, they have chosen very similar shoes and very similar sandals and similar hats, similar bags to match, you know, to coordinate with this dress. And, you know, they look similar to each other. And I thought it was quite amusing. This is very typically Japanese. If this is somewhere else in different markets, you know, people would look quite different in this dress, very different from each other. But in Japan, they end up in looking pretty similar to each other, and I thought it was quite amusing. Anyways, conformity is a very important thing in Japan. And looking on the bright side, because we are less varied, it's easier to target because we have the similar skin type. It's very difficult to target to a certain skin type because the variation isn't that great. So targeting can be easier than other markets. That's the positive thing about Japanese markets. And another important factor of Japanese culture is genre. What is it? Japanese people feel uncomfortable if they can't determine which genre something belongs to. What does it mean? It can be anything. It can be music, fashion, food, skincare, movies, anything. We don't feel comfortable if they're not categorized. If you listen to some good music from radio, you probably think it's good, but you feel uncomfortable if you can't decide which genre it is. Is it rock music? If it's rock music, then it's not my music. I mean, it sounds good, but it's not me. Things like that. So genre is very, very important. Same with fashion. If you say, for example, if you go to a clothes shop, a department store, and if you pick up a nice T-shirt, but the brand is for, I don't know, American casual people, then you would probably think, oh, that's not me because I'm Japanese casual person. So you wouldn't buy that T-shirt, that kind of thing. And this is quite unique to Japanese markets, I think. And again, this comes from the monogenic origin, less variety, and we are easier to categorize. If you go to like America or if you go to Europe, there are too many variations, and it's almost impossible to draw lines among different categories. But here in Japan, the variation is limited, so we can be categorized certain genre. And that's the mentality. And I will show you some examples how we treat this genre thing. I think the most, this is it. So this is the magazine portal site. This is for men's fashion, and you can like enter your type, your preferences, and it analyzes what genre you fall into. And see, like it gives you you are this kind of thing. And this is a publisher's website, so it even gives you which magazine to read. And if you scroll down, these are like, your classic person. And you would watch 007, you would read this book, you would read this magazine, and you would follow this person. Things like that. American traditional, Italian classical, rugged. Yeah, you will somehow fall into one of these categories. West Coast, French casual, things like that. It goes on forever, but you will be categorized into one of these things, and your choices will be specified by this test. Not everybody use this kind of tool. This is just an optional thing, but this kind of tool actually exists, and people find it quite useful actually. So are we looking at the slide? Okay. And oops, I was going to show you some other examples about tests. So these tests are used in branding as well. This is the beer brand, craft beer brand, which is becoming very popular in Japan. See, they give very specific genre, like fruity, rich, bitter, and fresh, light and fresh. They give, categorization visually, so that you can choose. Oh, I like bitter beer, so I will pick this one. Something like that. I like fruity beer, so I would pick this one. Things like that, and it even gives you the mapping. I like full body and bitter, then I will pick this. It's all visually explained, and this is again genre thing. And the testing, this one is the body hair remover brand, and this is a yes/no chart. So this says, would you like to remove your hair straight away? Yes. Do you mind using the product every day? Maybe not. Then it gives you the recommendation. You should use this one. So there is a test and like a suggestion. This is like a test / suggestion tool that's used commercially. So these kind of tools are actually used in the market, and people find it actually very, very useful. So back to the slide. Oops, I shouldn't let it go. Okay, so the next slide. Characters and mascots. Yeah, Japan is an empire of characters. We are fascinated with characters and mascots. If you know a Japanese word called kawaii, kawaii directly means cute, but it's a broader meaning than that. Kawaii is adorable, cute, and it's not just for kids, for grown-ups as well. And many major companies have original characters who represent their philosophy. So these little kawaii characters have a lot of responsibilities, speaking on behalf of the company executives. And the good thing about having own characters is that if it's people who represent their companies, people can go wrong. They can have they can become sick, they can become unpopular, they can say wrong things, risks about real people. But these characters, they have no risks. They don't go sick, they don't eat anything bad. And you can do all sorts of things about. You can do. It's your freedom to use it in any way that you want. So we prefer to use these cute characters instead of real people to represent their brands and companies and their products. So I'm going to show you some examples, starting from Nissin. Yeah. So Nissin is the Japanese biggest flower company group, and their mascot was created by Studio Ghibli. As you know, Studio Ghibli is the most important anime studio in Japan, Oscar-winning anime studio, and they created this cute cat character for Nissin Flower. And this was created to commemorate their 100th anniversary. So this is a real corporate character. And there are all sorts of content, like movies and yeah, like visual content. And this whole website is dedicated to this cat character. And the next one is Yamato Transport. Again, cat. Yeah, by the way, cat characters are very, very popular in Japan. We love cats. And Yamato Transport has been using this black cat symbol for many years, almost 100 years, I think. And if you go to the social media, let's say Facebook, come on, yeah, this black cat character has converted into a really cute one, kawaii black cat. And if you look, they become life-sized cats standing on 2 feet, and they go everywhere to represent the company. And they go to workshops, they go to so many different places to tell their brand stories, tell their corporate stories, and animations, and yeah, they go anywhere. These important people, he's the minister of environment, and these little cats, you know, they're in the same picture with these important men. And you know, these cats are executives of Yamato Transport. They're treated as executives. And JR East, this is Japan Railway East, and the IC card is represented by this penguin character. He is really, really popular, and there are different, you know, different poses and different facial expressions, and yeah, he's everywhere. He hasn't a name, which is quite unusual. But this is just a penguin, and there are some examples of this penguin character I will show you later. But the next one, Kiwi Brothers. Kiwi from New Zealand. We have lots of good fruits in Japan, like strawberries, really sweet strawberries, and peaches and apples. You know, homegrown fruits are already good enough, but the importer of New Zealand kiwi fruits wanted to promote the nutritious value of these kiwi fruits, and they created these Kiwi Brothers characters, and they explain about the nutritious background of kiwi fruits, and they even created these movies to explain. I'm not sure if I can play this. Let me try.
Keiko, it shows the video but doesn't repeat the voice. But the video we can see.
You can see it? Oh, you can't see?
We can see.
Oh, you can see.
We can't hear it. Yeah, we hear it.
Oh,
we can't hear it, but we see it. Yeah, but
okay.
We can see it anyways.
Okay. Yeah, something like this. So they do all sorts of creative things about with their own characters to promote their products and tell their brand stories. This is a very good example of imported food. Oops. Let me go back to the slides. If I can do this. There we go. So that's the characters and mascots. And another aspect of these characters, they have great opportunities for merchandising. This is like the secondary sales opportunities for the brand. I will show you the merchandising examples later. But for Japanese companies, these characters in muskets are very, very powerful tools. And another keyword is limited edition. Japanese people are just obsessed with limited editions, like limited season, limited quantity, limited design. We have 4 seasons and we are very proud of it. And there are limited products for every season. Like in the spring, we have cherry blossom related products. And in autumn, we have colored leaves related products and things like that. And if you combine it with other elements like local, gourmet, we have different regions and they have different food, regional foods. And if you combine seasons with local features, it creates like thousands and millions of different variations. So if you put limited edition, the choices are like so vast and people, spend a lot of money, experiencing the limited edition. This can be seen in station bento boxes. We call it ekiben. These are like ultimate limited edition gourmet. You have to take trains to eat those bento boxes. That's a big limitation there. The train journeys are not just for transportation or train spotters. They attract foodies. They want to go on trains and they want to get off at each station to buy these bento boxes, eat it there or take it home. Japanese people are just so fascinated with bento boxes. And also, there's another culture called omiyage. Omiyage is a souvenir, like straight translation is local souvenir. It can be sweets, it could be fruits, it could be vegetables, anything that's original to local or regions. We buy it and we take it home. We share it with friends, families, or work friends, colleagues. We spend lots and lots of money on omiyage. And omiyage has a very broad meaning too. And, if you visit your friend's house, for instance, you don't go empty-handed. It's rude. How close to your friends, it doesn't really matter. You take everything. You have to take little small gift. I'll show you an example because I'm visiting my cousin tomorrow, and I bought a little omiyage for her, just from a local cake shop. This is a nicely packed product. It says lemon collection, and I'm just going to open it. Let's see what's inside. Very nicely packaged. So you open. I only paid something like just under €4 to buy this, and it even came with a little nice label saying "Thank you, Father," because Father's Day is approaching, and it could be a little gift for your father. And inside there are 5 little cakes, individually wrapped. This is a cookie. This is another cake. 5 of them, individually wrapped. This is very, very important in Japanese markets. Individual wrapping. I know it takes a lot of plastic, but this can be, plastic packaging can be recycled here in Japan, and essential to be individually wrapped because this can be shared. My cousin can share it with her friends. She doesn't have to eat it immediately. She can leave it till this keeps for 2 weeks, so she can enjoy it for 2 weeks. So individual wrapping is essential, and nice packaging is essential. Another omiyage. I joined the wedding ceremony last week, and This was given by the bride and groom, and inside it's a set of, can you guess what it is? I couldn't guess. But these, if you open it up, tea bags in teeny weeny boxes, you know, wooden box to begin with, and little box like a matchbox, and tea bags. 3 tea bags in these teeny weeny bag in little boxes, little beautiful boxes. So this is a very special omiyage. Like this, like packaging and individual wrapping is the must in Japanese market. So these are just small examples. And yeah, limited edition. I want to show you some examples about the local limited edition with this JR. There we are. Penguin. See these penguins dressed in different clothes. These clothes are local, like traditional clothing, and they are created according to the stations of the JR East. So they are limited edition. They have to go to, say for instance, this is Yamagata. They have to go to Yamagata to get this product, and they have to go to Fukushima to get this product. So if you're collecting the penguins products, and they have to go there to actually buy this, things like that. And Kumamon, he is the original character of Kumamoto Prefecture, and he has like a whole website dedicated, and people create all sorts of limited edition products using Kumamon, and the collection is limitless. There are people collecting Kumamon things, and they spend, you know, hundreds and thousands of yen buying Kumamon products. So this is how limited edition attracts people's attention in Japan. So let's go back to the slides. So the last keyword I wanted to provide was graphics. And this is how this is going. I'm going to explain how is okay. You've got the story, you've got all the materials, you've got, say for instance, you've got the character, you've got the concepts, you've already written the brand story. How do we present it? Japanese people gain assurance through written text. We want everything to be written down in words. Other markets tend to prefer to make their products speak for themselves and try to minimize text, but in Japan it's the opposite. But if there are too much text, you know, that's common in everybody. Too many texts can be really boring, and people don't have time to read, you know, word by word through long text. So what we do is we take these texts and you know, merge them with the pictures and graphics and diagrams and present it graphically. It's easier if I show you the example. Let's see. So this is DHC. This is the best-selling healthcare company, and this is the main website. And I'm going to compare it with new. That's American best-selling health product company. And let's pick this one, DHC. So this is the sunscreen. Okay, you've got the picture, you've got the price. This is normal, but here the feature of the product, the explanation of the product is done graphically, visually, and of course there are some text, but diagrams and text, lots of graphics. And let's compare this with American products. Yeah, normal. This is normal. This is ordinary. This is what we are used to looking at. You know, basic pictures, very straightforward. Yeah, very straight to the facts. Yeah, this is very standard, you know, healthcare products websites. But in Japan, you know, this is not very good. If you translate, you know, all the text straight into Japanese and present it in the same way, it won't work as well as you hope to. You need to add some graphical elements to explain, to you know, transmit the added value of your products visually, graphically. So this is a very important thing about the creativity of Japanese promotion tools. Let's go back to the slide. That's it. So, as you probably felt, Japanese promotional material, it explains everything. You know, everything is explained, and it leaves almost no room for imagination for consumers, and that's how we like it. You know, it all goes back to the keywords like genre, like conformity. You want to be specified. This is for you. This is your genre. This is what you want. You want to be told what you are looking for, what's suitable for you, what's suitable for your lifestyle, things like that. So that should be written in the company brand story or the product story. So bearing in that mind, I'm just going to touch on this little topics about word of mouth. So we do have word of mouth promotion tool in Japan, but it's become kind of somehow outdated because internet literacy has, you know, finally, you know, caught up, and people know the insider trick of paid word of mouth. So it's not as effective as it used to be, like everywhere else. But these words of mouth can be spoken by those characters and mascots. That could be very effective. And like Q&A, like frequently asked questions, these can be replaced. You know, these can replace word of mouth because, you know, it goes back to the concept of conformity. Other people are interested. Other people are asking questions about the product. This must be good. So this kind of thing, you know, another form of word of mouth. And lastly, I wanted to talk about respect and courtesy. This is you know, it is something common. I mean, this is something that we share in common. Being polite and respectful is social currency in Japan. So wherever you go, whoever you meet, be polite and be respectful. Just stating the obvious, but it's a very, very important thing in Japan. Writing stories that focus too much on product advantage and compare them with local products in Japan can result in a negative impression. Of course, I mean, comparing it with the Japanese product and saying, oh, finished product is better, it won't work. This is just stating the obvious. So I'm gonna move on to the next slide. Just summarizing do's and don'ts. Yeah, give your product a specific role in Japanese people's lives. Yeah, I've already explained to that. So these are just the summary. So maybe you could read this through later when you have time. But yeah, again, specify TPO everyday. Is it for everyday use? Is it personal gift? Is it a corporate gift? You have to state it. You have to give it a role. This is for the gift. This is for you. This is for omiyage. This is the small gift. This is for the wedding. This is for, I don't know. This would look good in your kitchen. This would look good in your bathroom. It needs a place in Japanese people's life. So adding these specific like description to your brand story is very important. And hokuo feature, just add hokuo. It's a magic word almost. So use hokuo correctly. So it's 5 o'clock. So I'm going to do a mini workshop all by myself, and I'm going to show you some good examples of successful localization and effective use of the original material. I'm going to share the screen again. So, Lappan Kankuri. Yeah. So this is the original version of Lappan Kankuri's website. Really nice pictures and very good, written texts, very simple and functional, really nice website. It represents Lappan Kankuri's character very well, and it's really nicely laid out. And I'm going to show you what Japanese partner did with Lappan Kankuri's websites. Can you see the difference? They use almost the same pictures and materials, but the layout is completely different. What they did was they gave the specific use, like this linen blanket can be used for anything. This is like multifunctional fabric. You can use it for tablecloth. You can use it for bedding. You can use it as a blanket. You can use it in your car. You can use it in your living room. You can use it in your kitchen. Wherever you want. But Japanese people want to be told what it's for. So, see, table, bed. They've deliberately chosen those pictures to show how the product can be used. And limited stocks, of course, limited edition. And these pictures again, handkerchief, this can be put around your neck, but say, this is handkerchief, but this one is for around the neck. Things like that. They want to be specified. So, see, this is the gift for you, good for me. Things like that. So this is what they played around with the material given by Lappan Kankuri and converted it for Japanese consumers, Japanese audience. And another example I wanted to show was the air purifier from Sweden, Blue Air. And this is a United Kingdom website, Blue Air, yeah. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, this is nice, very nicely laid out website explaining about the product really well. Yeah, gives the product descriptions very well in comparison, and the movie and the Yeah, the functional or the proof. Yeah, this is really good website. And how would it look like in Japan? So this is the Japanese version of Blue Air website. They use the same movie and they use the same pictures, but look, comparison part. This is like at a glance, less amount of texts. And I'm going back to UK. You see, in the UK, you have to click to move on to the product description. See, but in Japan, it's all explained on one page. You can compare all the different models in one page using different diagrams and graphic design. And they use more diagrams and pictures. And this one explains where you can put these devices to remove what kind of substances. Like in the bathroom, there are moles. In the living room, there are dust. Things like that. They make use of diagrams more than other markets. So they use the same material, but use it in different ways. And I thought it was quite impressive the way they played around with it. So those are the examples that I wanted to show you. And going back to the slide, here we are. So I did a little workshop by myself. These were the photographs that were provided by Yoki Pimperava and the little brand story provided by Yoki Pimperava. And I laid out, just simply, laid out neatly with the, with the nice font and, it looks really nice. It could be a good promotional material already. But maybe for Japanese audience, this could be, played around a little bit, as it were. So this is what I created. Just, I know it looks a bit funny in English language, but if it's translated into Japanese, it would probably work pretty well. But what I did was I sort of pulled apart the texts into different themes like sustainability, these keywords, sustainability, sauna, made in Finland, gift ideas, Yoki Pimperava's sustainability aspects. And then, yeah, I can be used sauna. Yeah. And this is made in Finland. Wow. And it could be a great gift. Yes, my friend loves sauna, so this could be a great gift, and so on. So this is more visually like broken down. And this is what Japanese audience would actually prefer. So yeah, this is the kind of the different approach in different cultural background. So this is just a demonstration of how things can be adopted in Japanese markets. And well, I have no other slides left, and that means this is the end of my webinar. And if you have any comments or questions, or if you have any, if you want any further explanations about the things that I talked about, please speak up, or please leave a comment in the comment page, or if you wanted to contact me separately, please do so, whatever. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Keiko. That was a brilliant presentation. And I think that we can stop recording now, because now it is like time for more